The Town Star competition happening on July 22nd, 2025 will feature the Bokashi meta. In case you don't know what that is, apparently it is some fermented organic matter used in a composting method. The Bokashi is crafted in the organic fertilizer facility, which I may refer to as the off for short. Let's try asking two of the greenhouse workers to explain the crafting requirements and talk a little bit about the off.
To craft Bokashi at the organic fertilizer facility, you need 1 Compost, 1 feed, 1 egg, 1 bucket of water, and 1 yeast. The facility casts 3 shade, and it is negatively impacted by both shade and dirty, so you want to be careful about where it's placed.
Thank you to the greenhouse workers. Yeah, they all look pretty similar, don't they? The Bokashi has a craft time of 3 minutes on a green craft timer with nothing negatively impacting it and stored in the storehouse. For this competition, Bokashi will give 120,000 stars for each one sold. Compost is also a new item which can be crafted at any milk barn with the craft requirements of 8 feed and 8 water, and it is picked up by the ATVs and stored in the storehouse. It does have the lowest priority when it comes to the pickup order, so if none of your ATVs or ranchers are picking up the Compost, it's because you don't have enough of them and they are too busy either picking up the eggs from the chicken coops or crafting and picking up the feed from the feed mills. The trade time for this competition is 60 seconds with a 1 gasoline cost per trade. The starting layout provided for this competition is a forest biome with a river on the north side. There is also an oil seep closer to the northeast area. The cash boosts for this competition are Compost from 3,100 to 31,000, feed from 610 to 6,100, egg from 2,100 to 21,000, and yeast from 4,220 to 20,000. The rewards for this competition are the standard Gala rewards plus an NFT known as the Bulky Throff Blueprint for reaching the top 1,200 placements in the leaderboard by the time the competition ends. The Bulky Throff Blueprint will increase the storage capacity of all of the Throffs. The higher the rarity, the higher the boost. Rewards are usually distributed directly to your account within 5 days. This is the Bokashi design that I've created for this upcoming competitions. Now, we've been joking about this meta. I could do some jokes in this video, but I'm going to keep it as clean as I can considering what we're making here. But this is doing at least 136 Bokashi per hour. It might even be 137 per hour, but I already put 136 on the thumbnail. Anyways, I'm going to scroll through the production monitor so you can see the production rates of everything. I've had this running for about 4 hours now, not as long as I usually do these tests, but I did want to go ahead and do this now. Now, when the update for this meta came out on Friday, it was broken as the milk barns couldn't even make Compost, but that was fixed on Saturday. Everything is working as expected. The one thing that threw people off guard, including myself, is the fact that the offs don't like shade or dirty. Maybe they don't even like salty either, and we just don't know that because we don't have the ocean to test it. But they are like windmills, but worse, because windmills are only negatively impacted by shade. These are negatively impacted by not just the shade, right? So you can't have them close to anything that would cast dirty, even if it didn't cast shade, like oil pumps, which we don't have to deal with oil pumps this time since we have the oil seep, but just an example. And they do cast 3 shade, so you can't even have them next to each other, or else they will be on a red craft timer, and the craft times for these are horrendous. You heard the 3-minute craft time. With a red craft timer, that would be 24 minutes, which means you would only make about 2.5 Bokashi per hour if you have one of these running on a red craft timer. Now, they are cheap to build in terms of cash. It's going to be 7,500 cash to build without using any NFTs. The wages would be 750 per minute, which are very high despite it being cheap, but the material cost is pretty annoying at 10 wood, 10 lumber, and 10 energy to build each one of these. So for this design, I am focusing on having only green craft timer offs and windmills, so none of those will be on a red craft timer. That means I won't have to build an unnecessarily large amount of them, just the right amount of buildings that I need for this production rates right here, which I think is much better than I originally planned for. Now let me go ahead and break down the crafting process. Starting with the yeast, I have 3 logger houses in charge of collecting the wood from the 11 tree farms. These 4 tree farms are on a green craft timer. All the other ones are either on a yellow or red craft timer. There's 7 tractors in charge of collecting the wheat from the 17 wheat fields. 12 of them are on a green craft timer. The other 5 are either on red or yellow craft timers. All the wheat gets stored in the one single silo right here. It only holds wheat, so it's completely fine. It will, or it should almost always be full of wheat, and I am not auto selling the wheat. That is done on purpose. The wheat will be used to make yeast and feed at the feed mills. So I have 5 windmills on a green craft timer. As I explained before, they are all crafting flour, so they need to make 2 trips to the silo over here to pick up the wheat, and then the loggers will take the wood directly to them, and they will store the flour at the closest storehouse, of which there are 6 storehouses kind of like in a rectangle here. So you got these 3 at the bottom, these 3 at the top, and there are 4 bakeries crafting yeast. They do have the passive water drum from the water pump right here. They just have to pick up 2 flour from the storehouse right here and then drop off the yeast. And now to explain basically everything else, because it's kind of connected, there are 10 ATVs spread around the town in different locations. There are 9 milk barns crafting compost. I am using this 10 pond setup right here to provide all the passive water for all of the milk barns. As you can see, 8 passive water. And also, now that milk barns have 2 crafts, whenever you build the milk barn, you will have to click on the crafting recipe and actually select what you want to craft. I know for so long we've been used to just building the milk barn and it automatically starts crafting milk. Well, it's not going to start doing that anymore. So you actually have to make sure that you pick what you want to craft. But yeah, we will be crafting just cow posts for this one. Thankfully, you don't have to worry about the wood for the milk barns if you are making cow posts, since it only needs feed and water. This setup right here will accommodate 9 milk barns with full passive water. Now the cows are either going to the closest meadow to feed upon, or they're going to the trough. They really should be focusing on the meadows, but this is making enough feed to handle the cows that do decide to feed from the troughs. So there are a total of 35 meadows. You probably could have some more. There are some empty spots here, but there's never a need for them to go that far. Honestly, some of these meadows aren't even necessary, but I just placed them down anyways. And there are a total of 4 troughs spread around the town close to the organic fertilizer facilities, since they do need to pick up a feed. So there are 3 on the south over here, and then there's 1 that's closer to these 2 offs, and there are 4 feed mills to craft feed with. For the egg production, there are 3 chicken coops touching the south border right here. They all have the 1 passive water that they need from the nearby pond, as well as all 10 organic fertilizer facilities that I am using. They all have the 1 passive water that they need from the nearby ponds everywhere. These 2 have it from the river that's getting out the 5 passive water. For the gasoline setup, I'm using the standard setup with 2 water pumps, 2 power plants, a refinery between them crafting gasoline, the refinery to the side crafting petroleum. There is an oil seep providing passive crude oil for the refinery crafting petroleum, and you could easily make energy if you need it, which you will for all the offs you have to build. And there is the fuel storage right here to deposit the gasoline in. For the trade setup on the northeast corner over here, I have 2 trade depots. Sometimes you are selling a lot of items, so you would want to have 2 of them just in case. And these are optional buildings. They aren't necessary for the final production rate, but obviously you're going to want them to actually build everything. So there's 2 lumber mills, because you're going to need to make a lot of lumber, a lumber yard to store the lumber in. Make sure you don't have this at the very end, like you're not actually storing wood here, or else it will slow down your flour and your egg rate. And there's 1 warehouse warehouse to deposit energy in. Now there's a couple of empty spots which you can decide what you want to do with those. I don't think there's much you can do though. And for the roads, you can see that there are a lot of roads. I don't usually do this where I have a whole blockade of roads right here. There are a total of 92 paved roads in this design. Yes, you probably do want to pave all of them instead of having a couple of dirt roads just in case. It helps with the movement, it helps with the efficiency of the entire design. But yeah, it turns out 92 paved roads are being used for this. As always, don't forget to turn on Update Town offline whenever you are doing the competition. And here's what the auto trade looks like. I have all the items on an auto trade quantity of 10, except for feed, wheat, and gasoline. Those don't have to be sold. Here's what the build looks like on the visualizer. Total cost is 7.3 million, but that doesn't include the cost of clearing all the trees. Probably if you have 10 million, you'll be all set and you shouldn't have any issue getting the cash that you need to finish this build because of all the cash boost. Wages are 15,290 per minute, but you won't have any issue paying those wages. You can find the file for this visualizer on my Discord server, and an invite link is in the description. For the cash rush strategy, you could either sell a lot of feed or Compost. The problem with feed is you'll run out of gasoline very quickly, and if you want to use a freight pier, you're gonna need 20 Throffs in order to store 100 feed, which it can be done. So yeah, if you want to do that, that works. Or if you're doing Compost, then you're either gonna want to build out all the ponds first, which is gonna cost you a bit of money, or maybe you have some NFTs that help you with that. But yeah, once you have all the meadows and ponds to make the Compost efficiently, like with this setup right here, then that should get you all the cash that you need within the first couple hours. You pretty much could start building out this entire design while selling Compost, feed, and even eggs on the side. Now this design wasn't really that hard to come up with. I actually had a harder time coming up with my own personal design. I feel like this is pretty unique, and it's, if you're in a position where you have certain NFTs like Light Circus that removes shade, that is extremely useful for this, or a wheat stand of course to provide passive wheat to either the feed mills or the windmills, then that will of course help you out so much with your production rates. But you're going to be in a position where you're wondering, what do you do with the one Light Circus or the one wheat stand that you have, because you're not going to be able to accommodate everything. Now if you do have one Light Circus and one wheat stand exactly, I would probably suggest just focusing on using those for the windmills so you can have full passive wheat for those and craft all the flour that you need. But then for the offs, you will probably want to try to have them on green craft timers. That way you don't have to build a bunch of them on a red craft timer. That would be so annoying to do. So it's not going to save you as much space as you think, because of course you're going to want to do something similar to this. So the people that happen to have like 2 or 3 Light Circuses, yeah, they're going to have it real good with this one. And if you happen to have the Town Hall NFT, instead of building this pond, you can just place it here, and this gets the 1 passive water that it needs. And I believe for rotations, I did rotate some of the milk barns, as you can see right here. I did not bother rotating any of the offs, so they are facing wherever they ended up facing whenever I built them. But the Throffs I did rotate. Normally when you build them, they're like this when they're next to a road. I'm not sure why, but you probably do want to rotate them so they're closer to the road. As you can see right there, the worker will want to touch the Throff. That's how it does the pickup and the drop off, so that does help a little bit. And I believe that's everything I have for this build showcase, so hopefully you found this information helpful and informative. If you did, please leave a like, leave a comment, consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. You can find links on how to support the channel in the description, and as always, I appreciate your support and thank you for watching.